Hello, and welcome to Aedris. I've been working for a little while on a little personal project, the Aedris world, which we'll probably see other videos about. So I hope that you enjoy this one though, as I make a map. I've been really struggling with making maps and kind of drawing out the land and just finding pieces. So it was really nice when I found a kind of challenge that was made by the publisher of Mothership, or not publisher, the guy that made Mothership. He talked about this idea of daily making a calendar and basically taking each day writing a little chunk of like a dungeon on it. And this challenge that he made up was called Dungeon 23. I was watching a video of this one person going through it. He had a little different scheme. He was using a kind of different calendar, but I kind of really like the idea of making these little chunks and just kind of making these things. So what am I making here? I'm making some cauldrons and things. There's that little house I made. Yeah, let's go racing. Let me tell you a little about the world. Aedris had broken, and even the gods could not stop it now. The endless cycle now enacted its price. The final spirals had begun. All anyone could do now was choose, enter the oblivion, or resist it, to embrace the darkness. Currently, I'm working on, well, this little ugly house. I was trying to make some witches' huts, and this one right here really felt right. I like the kind of stick feel of it. All these kind of little growths, things that are coming off of it too. It feels kind of naturey and I don't know, witch-like. So I got rid of some of these. Didn't quite fit the feel. So always be okay with erasing your work and replacing it and doing the best you can to fix the mistakes that may happen as you erase it. Try to make the brood shed look a little different. The witches here have taken over this fortress, more taken over the men of the fortress, the people who are running it. They even re-enchanted the guardians of that fortress. This was for them to be able to control and take over the surrounding land, the forest. I'm kind of making up the lore as I go, as I make these things. It's very fun kind of having just an idea and just kind of finishing it and just saying, here's here's a little something, and then kind of seeing what the next little piece does. We're going to be doing the top and then part of this top row, and then we're going to be doing part of the second row in this video. It's fun. It's kind of fun being like, here's a little, I don't know, it's kind of giving yourself little prompts by what you write. I introduced these pine trees early up in the picture, and so I wanted to continue that forest down here also. I really like the idea of kind of these witches of the woods that have been skulking around doing stuff. I might need to change or work on kind of the idea, because I think the idea of one witch hanging out in the woods is pretty scary, but the idea of like a whole little group of them, I don't know, maybe that feels a little too normal. I'll need to think about that. The big cauldrons too, something about them is I imagine that once they're done, they dump it into the river, and so somewhere there's probably a little pond that's has a lot of brew in it. A lot of potion pond, which actually we may see later. I'm cheating a little bit, as you can see. I'm going into other days, but I try to keep it to just this one day. Looking at and kind of judging where this road should go. We also have this little tomb here. This was an old knight's grave. He was laid to rest long before the witches came. Maybe the witches brought him back to life, and maybe he's fighting on their side. It's kind of fun to think, like, seeing what the little players could do. I try to add something on each page, something that kind of is a little flair, a little bit of interest. It's kind of hard sometimes, getting all these little pieces and finding things that I feel like really feel interesting and feel new. So sometimes you just kind of gotta make a bunch of trees and just go with what's happening. I also like making these half trees. It's kind of funny because I'm instantly going to write the other half of the tree, but it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of measuring and showing the road, trying to make that a little bit more distinct. I measured out this before. This fell quite recently. It's kind of been a recent kind of geological oddness. I feel like there's some odd happenings with this canyon. Great statue of this old wolf god that may have some connections to some of the current gods of the land. Aedris is a place of stories. It's very important. And so in my world building, there's a lot of importance around stories and the stories that people tell, and we'll get more into that maybe in another video. But I'm still figuring it out, so things may change, or I might go off and make something completely different. So just remember, everything is pretty loosey-goosey in these videos. I like there's like one tree that fell. It's like there's more, but I was just like, I gotta put one. Gotta show it. Doing a little bit here on this wolf. Yeah, this whole little valley area was a lot of work, and I kind of realized something as I'm drawing this. Will eventually see me realize that there's a giant waterfall. There we go. It's coming down, and so I need to incorporate that into the drawing a little more. Pretty new to kind of rediscovering drawing. So there's some newer things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show that it's because there's little trees and things in there. There's kind of hopefully a vibe of this has happened recently, kind of like with flooding or something like that. I'm not sure if I quite pulled it off, but I do like the idea of it. Trying to get some claws on that guy. Here we go. Find the waterfall. Give it a little bit more to it. These curls. Almost like a stylization. I also start shading in this just to kind of bring it out a little bit. Fortress was built into these woods. Not sure who lived here. People around don't really know that either. Someone moved into it, and that someone is now being controlled by the witches. I mean, they are quite powerful. There's a lot of things that they're good at, one might say. There's a little summoning circle that can be used to re-enchant the guardians of the wood guardians, to defend them. Seems like there was some sort of reverence for the woods. You'll see there's that little place where you could jump off or get thrown off, more likely. But specifically, it had a little rune on it to teleport the person to a location, so it's actually quite safe to use. There's several kind of idols and things that are around that are kind of little, they're in some ways little references, and in other ways just little additions to this. There's some little benches to sit around this pond. Also, this is probably where a lot of the brew's coming, now that I think about it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it went down or downstream. There's something about this pool, so maybe it's kind of almost like a little amphitheater with different benches going up. People like to sit by it. Can't up with the name. Sometimes they just come to me. No grass details to this. Okay. Add some more trees to this. Aedris has been an interesting kind of experiment in trying to keep. I just draw each night and try and really kind of hold to the theme. I was inspired by a game book guide called Vermis by Plastiboo. Boo. One of those. It's very, very cool. A little scary too, which is kind of fun too. But I really like the idea. I was kind of like, well, I kind of want to play with this idea too. So that's where Aedris came from. Still figure out all the little details to it. I think Aedris has Dark Souls vibes, but also some weird oddness. We have another little witch's hut, and something here. Perhaps someone wasn't that lucky, got strung there. Or it's perhaps some sort of idol. Maybe I'll have to go investigate when we get the chance. Try to figure out where the river would go. Sometimes you gotta kind of judge those things and then make little adjustments, even though it's just that. It's helpful later on. There's wolves in the woods near the castle. Guards have to keep on the lookout. Whispers of the wolf god returning, or something else in his place. People aren't sure of what's true and what's not. And with the strange landscape of shells and gray clay growing near the castle, perhaps there are other reasons why the people turn to the witches to save them. The witches were quite open to this, having lived near the castle and in the woods for a while, gaining more domain and power. Probably something that they would enjoy. A little bit of free run of the place, one might say. We have a little sign pointing to a city that's going to be down below. I'm hoping to put out some more videos during the weekend, Saturdays. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. So I began with this tree, the wicker tree. You imagine that the leaves glow, the tree guardians, shrines to unknown gods, the barracks, armory. Here you can see some wolves peering out, grand gate, strange forge, tombs, witch huts, a winding road, and one final square. So what do you think should go there? Not saying now, put something there, I have an idea. But what do you think are some ideas you could add to maps? Have you ever done something like this before? Also, if you've known any good Dungeon 23 maps, I would love to see them. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you enjoy the songs of the Aedris. Maybe they'll sing of you one day.